Chapter 1. Reborn on the first day of a reality TV show in my past life, I was a complete idiot, blinded by love. Blessed with a stunning face and a killer body worthy of a pop star, I was content to be Gideon Vance's secret girlfriend. I joined him on a reality dating show, Love Paradise, hoping he'd finally go public with our relationship. Instead, he was busy creating a couple persona with another contestant. I was cast as the clown, the pathetic side character, mocked by the entire internet as the world's #1 female simp. During a rock climbing challenge, he and his mistress sabotaged my gear. I lost my footing, fell from a cliff, and died. When I opened my eyes again, I was back, reborn on the very first day of filming for the show. This time, I shed the baggy, dowdy clothes and stopped deliberately hiding my beauty and my degree from a top university. No longer holding back, I had that despicable pair dancing in the palm of my hand, and I made a fortune embracing my new persona, a sharp, no-nonsense leading woman. Chapter 1. Your waist is so soft. Let me get another squeeze. Oh, stop it, big bro Gideon, you're so naughty, taking advantage of me when the cameras are off. You don't like it. I do, but no more touching. Before the sounds could get any more blush-inducing, I lowered my eyes and turned away from the door. I knew that male voice well. It was my boyfriend, Gideon Vance. I also knew that breathless moan. It belonged to Cassandra Dane, Gideon's official on-screen partner for this show, just as I thought. They'd gotten together before the show even started filming. A bitter smile tugged at my lips as I recalled all the clues from my past life. Gideon and I had been together for 2 years, but he always used his burgeoning career as an excuse to keep our relationship a secret. After graduation, to stay in his orbit, I gave up a high-paying job and joined his management team. For 2 years, Gideon never allowed me to wear makeup or stylish, form-fitting clothes. Whenever a talent scout showed interest in me, he turned them all away on my behalf. He claimed it was to protect me from the muddy waters of the entertainment industry, and that he'd be sick with jealousy if other men saw me. So, I hid in his shadow, serving as his little assistant for 2 years. When he invited me to join Love Paradise, I thought he was finally ready to make it official and give me the recognition I deserved. Instead, he handed me a supporting role script, a pair of black-framed glasses, and makeup designed to make me look ugly, instructing me not to steal the spotlight. I played the part of the ugly, foolish girl, waiting for him to take my hand on the show and announce our relationship. But I waited day after day, only to see him successfully pair up with another female guest, Cassandra Dane. Not only did he kiss Cassandra in public, but he also went around telling everyone I was stalking and harassing him, allowing netizens to bully and mock me. The entire internet was shipping him and Cassandra, calling me the world's #1 female simp, a dowdy old hag, and an ugly monster not fit to live. My own name was forgot. I became a clown, despised by everyone online. It wasn't until the very end of my last life that I overheard the truth outside Gideon's room. Big bro Gideon, you brought sis Aurora onto the show just for me to vent my anger on. Why won't you break up with her already? You little fool, I've known her since college. If she exposes me, I'm finished, right? It's better to ruin her reputation first, then everything will be easy to handle. That woman is being flamed by the entire internet. She'll probably kill herself any day now. You're so smart, big bro Gideon, and she's still foolishly listening to you, wearing those black-framed glasses and dressing so dowdily. The netizens must be tearing her apart. Of course. No one is allowed to steal the spotlight from my Cassie. At that moment, my mind went blank, and I trembled as if all the warmth had left my body. He never wanted me in the public eye, yet he invited me onto a reality show, dressed me up like a clown, and let Cassandra target me at every turn. The clues clicked together in my mind. This man's so-called protection and possessiveness were just a cover so I wouldn't outshine Cassandra. He wanted me to be driven to suicide by cyberbullying. Shaking with rage, I rushed in to confront Gideon. I demanded a public apology in front of the cameras, or I would expose his true colors on the show. But I had underestimated their shamelessness. Half an hour later, during the rock climbing segment, I fell to my death due to an equipment malfunction. Gideon and Cassandra put on a show of shock and horror, but I clearly read the words from Gideon's lips and saw them in Cassandra's eyes. "Go to hell, you bitch." As I fell, 20-odd years of my life flashed before my eyes. From the proud little girl in a ballet tutu on the awards stage, to the campus belle in a graduation gown giving a speech to thousands, and finally, to the ugly monster on a reality show, dressed in shabby clothes and condemned by all. Aurora, oh Aurora, you could have chased money, a career, anything. Why did you have to chase after a scumbag like Gideon Vance? Gideon Vance and Cassandra Dane, if there is a next life, I will make you pay in blood the heavens were watching. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn on the first day of filming. Chapter 2. A stunning transformation. Getting away from the lover's nest of that despicable pair, I returned to my room. I stopped as I passed a mirror. The girl in the reflection had messy hair, a sallow, freckled face, and thick, black-framed glasses that made her eyes look vacant and dull. The baggy plaid shirt she wore was hardly better than a burlap sack, draped over her like a monk's robe. I had to laugh at my own appearance. How stupid was I in my past life to believe that a man who truly loved me would let me appear on camera looking like this? No wonder the netizens were so vicious. Who would side with such a disheveled-looking contestant? Gideon, if I don't repay you properly for this, it would be a real waste of your good intentions. The smile faded from my face. I stared calmly into the mirror, first straightening my hair with a comb, then wiping away the freckles and sallow foundation with a makeup remover wipe. A face of stunning, natural beauty was revealed. Even without a trace of makeup, my fair skin and delicate features were even more beautiful than those of Cassandra Dane, the so-called entertainment's #1, white moonlight. I changed into a form-fitting white dress, applied some simple, natural-looking makeup, and, pretending not to notice the camera in the mirror, found the perfect angle and gave a confident, smiling eyebrow raise. Sure enough, the live comments on the big screen flooded in like an avalanche. OMG, this girl is gorgeous after getting ready. That eyebrow raise and smile. She's killing me. Are my eyes broken? How did that country bumpkin, who followed Gideon here, turn into a fairy? I think I just saw my fated wife on a reality show. TT, so this is Gideon's legendary simp? She doesn't look like one. Simps, stay away from our Giddy. Stop calling her a simp. Can't you see how radiant she is? Like she'd need to leech off your boy on a reality dating show where looks are everything. Being attractive and winning are what get you screen time. Screen time gives you a voice. And with a voice, I was one step closer to making that despicable pair pay in blood. The show was called Love Paradise, a 2-week event where 6 contestants had to find the one. To help the contestants get to know each other, the production team had set up various pairing activities. For each activity, the winning pair would receive a $20,000 prize, and the couple with the highest total score at the end would split a grand prize of $500,000. For me, Aurora Sterling, winning wasn't just about the money. It was about exposure and having a platform. Before that scumbag couple could scheme against me, I needed to get as much exposure as possible. A voice suddenly came over the speakers. "Attention all contestants, your rooms have been assigned. Please gather in the living room." I smoothed down my waist-length hair and walked gracefully over to the luggage area. Besides Gideon and Cassandra, there were 3 other men and 2 other women. They were all busy socializing, but their eyes turned to me the moment I appeared. I could clearly see the stunned admiration in their gazes. Ignoring Cassandra's venomous glare and Gideon's dark expression, I smiled and greeted everyone one by one, my demeanor poised and confident, a stark contrast to the timid persona I had deliberately adopted in my past life. Another flurry of comments flashed across the screen. "Did you guys see that?" All 3 male contestants' eyes were glued on Aurora. The other female contestants look pissed. Hahaha, so what if they're staring? She's Gideon's simp, remember? I heard she only came on the show for him. Simps, stay away from our Giddy, just a casual viewer here, but that Gideon guy looks like he has a bad temper with that sour face. The pretty lady should check out the other guys, casual viewer. You're just an Aurora fan suffering from sour grapes. Get out of here with your fake persona pretending not to see Gideon's scowl or the online criticism. I chuckled to myself. Gideon and Cassandra, you two better watch closely. This time, we'll see who the real simp is. After the introductions, the production team got straight to the point, announcing the first challenge. A quiz competition where everyone had to pair up. The live chat filled with messages hyping up the top graduate, Gideon. It's the quiz competition. Our Giddy is a top graduate from Z University Aurora's. Fans better watch how their girl gets humiliated exactly. Aurora looks like a 9-year education dropout. Just an empty-headed vase. Brainless simp Aurora, get out of love paradise. Top graduate, Giddy, super high IQ. Giddy, top tier uni. Giddy, super high IQ. Giddy, the other female contestants. Drawn by Gideon's reputation as a top-tier university graduate, were eager to team up with him. Only I remained silent, my head lowered. Just like in my past life, Gideon ignored the chorus of objections in the live chat and walked toward me with a phony smile. I sneered inwardly but kept a neutral expression as I looked up. In front of the camera, Gideon spoke gently. Aurora, you don't have a partner yet, do you? How about you team up with me? He was offering to pair with me with an air of charity, but it was only so I could secretly feed him the answers, which he would then shout out like a genius. That was Gideon for you. He wanted me to keep a low profile, but he himself loved to be in the spotlight. In my last life, the video of him answering questions flawlessly went viral, solidifying his image as the entertainment industry's top scholar. That performance not only made Cassandra fall for him even harder, but also caused his commercial value to skyrocket, landing him multiple electronics endorsements. But this time, when he invited me, I first feigned a surprised smile, then politely declined. Sorry, big bro Gideon, I've already agreed to team up with big bro Julian. Big bro Julian? Gideon squinted at the man standing behind me, then raised an eyebrow at me. Stop messing around. Everyone knows Mr. Croft is only on this show to accompany his sister. He's not interested in pairing up with anyone. Don't be difficult, come on. Gideon reached for my arm, but I sidestepped him and moved to Julian's side. As Gideon said, everyone knew before filming began that Julian Croft was only on love paradise for his sister, Holly, and had no intention of finding romance. In my past life, right up until my death, Julian had maintained a completely indifferent attitude toward pairing up. He just stood by coldly, watching his sister's dating journey and occasionally giving the male contestants a warning look. But what no one knew was that Julian was the show's biggest investor, with enough power to influence the entire direction of Love Paradise. Chapter 3. Super high IQ, Julian Croft was tall and well-built, with refined features. Dressed in a tailored black suit, he looked like a dominant CEO straight out of a novel. At that moment, he glanced coldly at my arm linked with his, a hint of displeasure on his face. But I met his gaze with a confident smile, stood on my toes, and whispered in his ear, Holly's online hate campaign is related to him. Team up with me, and I'll tell you the truth about the smear campaign against your sister. Holly Croft was Julian's younger sister and the heiress to the Croft Group. Not long ago, a video of Holly splashing a waiter with ice water went viral, sparking nationwide outrage. Furious netizens doxed Holly, not only showing up at her doorstep to throw water on her, but also creating a social media hashtag called Has Holly Croft Died Today?, which was filled with photoshopped funeral portraits. But I had met Holly at a banquet a few months ago, and she was clearly a cute and sincere girl. Julian shot me a cold look, then glanced over at his sister, Holly, who was happily chatting with her new partner. He stopped the motion of prying my hand off his arm. That's right. I've already teamed up with Aurora. A deep, rich voice came from Julian's lips. Without giving Gideon another glance, Julian led me away by the hand, leaving Gideon standing there, stunned. The live chat, as expected, erupted into another firestorm. Is this Aurora girl sick? Who does she think she is? Ignoring our big bro Gideon, what gives a worthless vase the right to look down on a star and top graduate? Exactly. I can't wait to see this woman make a fool of herself. She just wanted to team up with Mr. Croft. Why are you all being so harsh? Yeah, I think Miss Sterling seems pretty nice. Just wait for Aurora and Julian to get crushed by the super high IQ Gideon. Super high IQ. I laughed to myself again. It was true that Gideon and I were both from Z University, a top-tier institution. The difference was, he got in as a special admission student with an arts bonus, while I had earned my spot with top exam scores. During the last 2 years of university, he had only managed to graduate thanks to my tutoring. Giddy's fans, you should probably be more worried about how your idol is going to embarrass himself. The quiz began. The first question was a calculation problem. If June 22, 2000 was a Thursday, what day of the week will June 22, 2024 be? The host's question drew gasps from the contestants. What kind of question is that? That's so tricky. The calculation is ridiculously hard. What if no one gets it right? The other contestants were complaining while frantically tapping on their calculators, but I did a quick mental calculation and hit the buzzer. It's only been a few seconds. Is someone already in a hurry to embarrass themselves? Cassandra sneered under her breath. Julian glanced at me. That fast? I shrugged and calmly answered. It's Saturday. Wow, really? That was so fast, Holly exclaimed. If you guess all 7 days of the week, you're bound to get one right eventually, Cassandra said, giving me a patronizing smile before turning to the host, eager for him to declare my answer wrong. I smiled back at her, my eyes narrowed. I'm a bit different. I never say things that will come back to bite me. Cassandra's smile froze. The host stood on stage, stunned, rereading the script over and over to confirm. Prompted by the production team, he finally snapped out of it. Congratulations, Miss Sterling, that is correct. A collective gasp went through the room and the live chat. Cassandra, struggling to maintain her smile, said, I'd love to ask Sis Aurora how she calculated that. I really want to learn. I shrugged again. It's simple, just an arithmetic progression from high school. Didn't you learn that? Faced with my question, Cassandra shrank back behind Gideon like a quail. Ha 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 ha, Cassandra really seems to want Aurora to admit she guessed. But even if it's an arithmetic progression, it requires strong calculation skills. Aurora is actually pretty amazing. I'm a math major, and I couldn't even solve it that quickly. She didn't even use scratch paper. That's incredible. She must have gotten the questions in advance, right? These reality shows probably have scripts. Seeing the doubtful comments on the big screen, I sincerely suggested to the host, Excuse me, could you perhaps reduce the number of calculation questions? The host politely replied, I'm afraid not. While the questions are a bit difficult, they are all solvable. I've won a national award in a math competition before, and I'm good at mental math. Too many calculation questions would be unfair to the other contestants. A wave of badass comments swept across the screen. The host, not expecting this, froze on the spot. I looked at him earnestly. If I wasn't being accused of cheating, I wouldn't have wanted to show off like this. What's she bragging about? She's just fast. Our Gideon knew the answer too, Cassandra muttered from the side, while Gideon feigned a modest smile. My eyes lit up. How about this? For all the questions, I'll wait until someone else answers before I buzz in. That should be fairer. Faced with such an unorthodox request, the host's mouth twitched as he agreed. Beside me, Gideon's nervousness was palpable. The subsequent questions changed to general knowledge, and I deliberately slowed my reaction time by a few seconds. Cassandra frantically hit the buzzer, eager for Gideon to redeem himself. After finally getting the chance to answer, she smiled at Gideon expectantly, looking at the audience with an air of certainty as she waited for him to give the answer. But the first time, Gideon's face turned red, and after a long pause, he managed to choke out 3 words. Chapter 4, Utter Humiliation, I kind of forgot. I smiled and said nothing. Cassandra, however, was quick to make excuses for him. It's okay, nobody knows everything. Let's move on to the next question. The second time, the host asked the contestants to recite 3 lines of classical poetry containing the character for moon. Cassandra buzzed in again. But after mumbling the first 5 words of the most famous poem, "The moonlight in front of my bed," Gideon couldn't utter another syllable. I was enjoying the show. His fans were frantically defending him in the live chat. Our Gideon is a science student. It's normal for him not to be good at history and literature. Exactly. Why is the production team targeting our Giddy like this fine? The production team, likely watching the live chat in real time, made the third question right up their science student idol's alley. The host asked, "Question, what is the most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere?" Cassandra once again looked at Gideon with hopeful eyes. Sure enough, this time Gideon answered with confidence and conviction. But his answer was oxygen. The host burst out laughing for a split second before looking at the production team in horror, terrified of causing a major on-air incident. A flood of mocking comments poured in. PFFT, wait, is he really a top graduate? Did he even complete his 9 years of compulsory education? Nitrogen is 80 of the atmosphere, oxygen is only 20. Isn't that middle school knowledge? I'm starting to think Gideon bought his degree from Z University. OMG, I'm going to lose it with these entertainment industry dropouts who earn millions a day. Is big bro Gideon not feeling well today? What's going on? He doesn't even know that. I've been a fan for 3 years, but I think I'm done. In contrast to my successive correct answers on astronomy, history, and law, every one of Gideon's responses made him look like an idiot. As if embarrassed by him, Cassandra started inching further and further away from Gideon. By the end of the quiz segment, Julian was giving me repeated, inquisitive looks. Out of 30 questions, I answered 17 correctly, and Julian answered 10. We won with an overwhelming lead. During the latter half of the competition, Gideon's management team had him leave the set to rest, claiming he had a fever. A fever wouldn't melt your brain. It was a pathetic excuse. His fans, however, bought it completely, still posting, "We're waiting for you, our star online." But the world is mostly made up of sensible people. Within half a day, clips of his quiz performance were edited into meme videos and spread widely. Rumor had it that Gideon lost 2 electronics endorsements overnight, and his agent sent an experienced therapist to his room late at night. I hid under my covers that night, stifling my laughter. Gideon, you better stay strong. The real show is just getting started. The next day arrived, bringing with it a boat racing competition. As the winner of the previous round, I had the right to choose my teammate first. Excluding Gideon, the 2 male contestants I had just met each had a different vibe. Leo Aston, a popular young actor known as Mankind's White Moonlight, was tall but didn't look particularly muscular. Julian Croft had a refined face but a powerful build. Recalling the 8-pack abs I had accidentally glimpsed in my past life, I figured he was a good bet. After a brief analysis, I decisively chose Julian as my teammate for this challenge. When we gathered for the competition, I saw Gideon again. Unsurprisingly, he was paired with Cassandra. It seemed the therapist's work last night was quite effective. Gideon appeared completely unfazed by the quiz incident. Facing the camera, Gideon was affectionately stroking Cassandra's hair. She blushed for the camera, the 2 of them looking like a pair of innocent young lovers. Using a couple persona to attract fans and whitewash his image was indeed a reliable strategy. Noticing Julian and me discussing tactics in close proximity, Gideon seemed to suddenly remember I was his secret girlfriend. He shot me a warning frown, signaling me to stay away from Julian. Though I was disgusted, I put on a frightened, innocent expression, looking back at him with a bewildered gaze. Before the boat race officially began, the contestants had to do a shuttle run on the beach to get their oars. Julian glanced at my long, flowing pants and handed me his sunglasses. "Hold these for me. I'll run and get the oars." "Who are you looking down on?" My mind raced. I observed the soft sand for a moment, then bent down. To Julian's astonishment, I rolled up my pants all the way to my thighs, tucking the fabric insecurely. They were just long pants turned into shorts, but the other female contestants looked at me as if I were an alien. Cassandra exclaimed, "Big bro, Gideon, look at her, she looks like a country bumpkin planting rice." I widened my eyes in feigned shock. Oh my goodness, a huge portion of this country's population lives in rural areas. Are you looking down on all of them? Chapter 5. Viral sensation. Cassandra pouted, her eyes welling up as she started to put on an act. But I had no time for her. I looked up at Julian and began explaining my strategy. Julian listened with a furrowed brow, his gaze on the sand seemingly more focused than I remembered. At the staff's signal, all the contestants began trudging heavily through the sand, their feet sinking with each step. But I moved like a nimble rabbit, hopping across the beach so fast I was almost a blur. Julian mimicked my movements and quickly advanced, leaving the other contestants far behind. The others, after repeatedly getting stuck in the sand, started to copy our strategy, but it was too late. As for Gideon, the out-of-shape, brainless pretty boy could only repeat the endless cycle of pull leg out, sink into sand, pull leg out again at a turtle's pace. Cassandra just stood at the starting line, cheering in a cutesy voice, waiting for Gideon to bring back both oars. Having gained a huge advantage from the start, Julian and I effortlessly won the boat race. The moment we captured the flag to win, Julian, who had been so aloof in my past life, laughed heartily, showing 2 rows of white teeth as he affectionately brushed the water out of my hair. Leo Estan, who finished shortly after, grinned and gave me a thumbs up. "Aurora, you're really something else." Far behind, Gideon was still struggling with his oar. Cassandra sat motionless in the boat, only concerned with striking poses and cheering for Gideon in a high-pitched voice. Gideon, gritting his teeth as he rowed, watched me laughing and celebrating with another man, not forgetting to shoot me a warning glare. I pretended not to notice, already thinking about the next segment. After a long day, there was still no rest. For dinner, the production team only provided ingredients, the contestants had to cook for themselves. The non-cooks stared at each other blankly. Cassandra stepped forward coyly. "How about, I make some cheese bread for everyone?" The "I can cook" persona is always appealing, but the one who can feed everyone quickly is the real savior. Clang, I placed a large pot on the stove, filled it with water, and started tossing in various ingredients. "How about I make hot pot for everyone?" Everyone's eyes lit up. After a hungry day, who wouldn't want to eat as soon as possible? Especially something as fast and delicious as hot pot. Seeing her suggestion silently ignored by everyone, Cassandra's face turned shades of green and white. She had no choice but to retreat and sulk with Gideon. When the production team saw me about to dump all the beautifully arranged, delicate ingredients into the big pot, their faces darkened too. They had intended to create an image of the contestants as elegant people who eat exquisite meals. Instead, a group of them was about to follow my lead and squat on stools to eat hot pot. Ignoring the production team's sour expressions, I was busy preparing a secret spicy butter base, a sweet and savory tomato base, and a premium dipping sauce. 10 minutes later, a fragrant aroma filled the entire area. The production team, initially disdainful, secretly snuck over for a few bites after smelling the food. Delicious food warms the heart. After the meal, all the contestants except Gideon and Cassandra raised their glasses to me. Holly even threw her arm around my shoulder, wanting to become my sworn sister. After I mentioned that I also liked the girl group Blackpink, Holly started visiting me every night, carefully giving me a small gift before we chatted away into the night. Such a simple and bright girl, yet she was cyberbullied and had her funeral portraits photoshopped. Stroking the little perfume bear she gave me, I looked at Julian. I wondered how he would retaliate after learning the truth about Cassandra and Gideon framing his sister. While no one was looking, I cleared out the remaining ingredients. Holly, who had been all affectionate just moments ago, instantly lunged at me, pretending to strangle me. I begged for mercy, repeatedly promising to make her more hot pot base and dipping sauce next time before she finally relented. Between strategizing and rowing, today had been exhausting. Dragging my full stomach back to my room, I finally worked up the courage to open my social media, bracing myself for the storm of criticism I expected to face. After all, in my last life, I was the type to get viciously attacked for just drinking a sip of water. But when I opened the app, I was dumbfounded. The top 10 trending topics in the entertainment section were all about love paradise. And my name was in the top 5. Aurora Sterling, the ultimate competitor of reality TV, this tag was followed by a viral icon, firmly holding the #1 spot on all charts. Besides that, there were Aurora Sterling High IQ Beauty, Aurora Sterling Z University Top Graduate, Aurora Sterling Life is a competition. Even on a reality show, Aurora Sterling made hot pot with the premium ingredients. I was stunned. Had everyone gone crazy, I clicked on each trending topic. Not only were there no negative comments, but they were all filled with confessions of love and praise for me. They had even dug up an old photo of me speaking at my Z University graduation ceremony. Sis Aurora, my fated wife, I'll raise a banner for Aurora. I dare anyone to oppose her that hack Gideon still dares to brag about being a Z University top graduate. He's just an arts track student. Our sis Aurora was the top scorer from M-City who got in with her grades. So beautiful and a Z University top graduate. I can't help but fall madly in love, sob, sob, sob. How does she look so good even with her pant legs rolled up? I need a link to Aurora's sweatsuit, sis. Don't choose any of them. Please look at me. I'm begging you, TT. Chapter 6. Fawning still in a daze, I quickly scrolled through the trending topics with my name and discovered that my entire academic history had been dug up by netizens. From elementary school ballet competitions to middle and high school math Olympiads, and finally to my university graduation ceremony, resourceful netizens had posted photos from every stage of my life online. She's been a natural beauty since she was a child. Why didn't someone this gorgeous enter the entertainment industry? Didn't you see she's always been a top student? Why would she need the entertainment industry when she could get into Z University? So beautiful and a Z University top graduate. God is so unfair. Wait a minute. If I remember correctly, hasn't Gideon been marketing himself as a Z University top graduate? Turns out he was just an arts track student. Returning to the main trending page, I looked at the topics related to the other contestants. The most popular one besides my own was a tag called Gideon Vance Z University's 9-year education dropout. A 9-year education dropout was, as the name implies, someone who slipped through the cracks of the 9-year compulsory education system. For Gideon, who had always marketed himself as a high IQ top graduate from Z University, being associated with this term was certainly ironic. Clicking on the tag, I saw that the top post was a meme-filled video edit of Gideon's performance in the quiz competition. His awkward head scratching, teeth baring, and speechless gazes to the sky during the quiz were repeatedly looped. His classic line, "Oxygen is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere," had been turned into a rap track in the meme community, destined to be a timeless classic. Half of the people on the page were there for the laughs, while the other half were Gideon's fans, desperately trying to save face by flooding the page with his professional photos. In response to the fans' damage control, the talented meme creators of the internet produced a compilation video titled Like Master, Like Fan, and a series of insisting the crap they're chewing on isn't crap fan reaction mashups. I was trying my best not to laugh out loud in my bed when I came across a new trending topic. Aurora Julian, the high IQ couple. What? I was being shipped with someone already. I clicked on it and was deeply impressed by the fans' powerful shipping abilities. Julian decisively rejected the other female contestants' invitations. He was definitely waiting for Aurora to team up. Watching Aurora and Julian team up for the quiz was like watching a dating show version of The Brain. Finally, we don't have to watch cringy, sweet talk scenes when they were discussing their strategy. She talked, he listened. The way Julian looked at her, it was like he wanted to eat her up. Julian, an elite CEO back from studying abroad. Aurora, a beautiful top graduate and national math competition winner. If these two aren't a match made in heaven, then tell me what is. I'm shipping them so hard. Please recommend a romance novel with similar characters. TT, just by teaming up, we became a couple. How could netizens imagine all this and ship us? Although I was baffled by these trending topics, I was very satisfied. The show was a hit, and my popularity seemed to be doing quite well. Thinking about the past life where I was relentlessly attacked as a simp and told to die, I felt no sadness, only a sense of wonder. The ever-changing landscape of the internet. Returning to the main page, I clicked on the Gideon Vance Z University's 9-year education dropout topic again. Using a burner account, I anonymously posted a short piece of text with 3 accompanying photos, then tossed my phone aside and fell into a deep sleep. Perhaps because I had become a minor celebrity online, when I woke up the next day, Gideon was standing at my door with breakfast. In my past life, he would immediately turn and walk away if we were ever in the same shot. This morning, he was risking being seen coming to find me. My face twitched as I opened the door, toothbrush in hand. Gideon handed me the breakfast, a fawning smile on his face. "Aurora, you always forget to eat breakfast. I went to Casey's this morning to get you these chicken wings." Chapter 7, In Julian's room, what do you want? I asked nonchalantly, brushing my teeth while scrolling through my phone. Seeing that I wouldn't even look at him, Gideon's smile widened. "Aurora, what's wrong? Are you jealous because I paired up with Cassandra?" There. I have the official couple script with her. I didn't have a choice. For the haunted house puzzle this afternoon, I'll ignore the production team and team up with you, okay? I stared at Gideon's handsome face and let out a humorless laugh. His original goal was to create buzz with Cassandra and ruin my reputation in the process. But unexpectedly, I had gained all the popularity right from the start. Since no one was paying attention to them, he now wanted to use me to boost his own image. And now, he was trying to play the role of the good boyfriend who would defy the production team for my sake. I seriously wondered if I had been under a spell in my past life to have fallen for such a foolish man. But since there was no need to show my hand just yet, I put on a fake smile and politely declined. "Sorry, but..." A deep voice suddenly cut in, finishing my sentence. "Sorry, but she's already made plans with me." I looked up to see Julian appearing behind Gideon, so surprised that I swallowed a mouthful of toothpaste. Julian raised an eyebrow at me. I instantly understood and turned back to Gideon with a regretful look. "That's right. Sorry, I already made plans with Julian yesterday." "You too?" Gideon's face darkened as he stared at Julian and me, his gaze shifting back and forth between us. "Excuse us." Without giving Gideon so much as a glance, Julian grabbed my hand and led me outside. From the end of yesterday's competition until now, I hadn't found a chance to talk to Julian about Holly's situation. I didn't expect him to show up at my door so early in the morning. I thought he was taking me to some secluded corner, but as we walked, we ended up at his room. "Coming into your room? Isn't that a bit inappropriate?" I hesitated, looking at the simple, tidy bedroom. "Can you find another place without cameras?" Julian leaned against the door, raising an eyebrow at me. He was wearing a black and white striped shirt today. Though it was a simple cut, he wore it with the air of a business elite. "Don't worry," I told the production team. "The footage of us walking here has been cut," Julian added. As expected of the show's main backer. What he says goes. An alliance with someone like him was undoubtedly beneficial. Without further hesitation, I stepped into Julian's bedroom. Considering Julian's protective nature towards his sister, I got straight to the point. "I confirmed it again yesterday. Your sister was definitely framed intentionally. No rush, go freshen up first." Julian handed me a disposable cup and a towel, glancing at the toothbrush still clutched in my hand. I had been in such a hurry that I'd brought it all the way here. He was quite thoughtful. I didn't stand on ceremony. After washing up and enjoying a quick facial massage, I leisurely walked out of the bathroom. A CEO's bathroom is on another level. It even comes with various facial massagers like a hotel. Seeing me, Julian, who was leaning against the bed, spoke first. "Holly is my only family. I've always protected her very well." That last cyberbullying incident, although I managed to suppress it, the rumors and the video are still circulating online. Holly was hit hard. It's not that she's weak, but some of the things the netizens did were truly awful. I nodded silently. Online, Holly was now portrayed as a rich brat who abused the lower class, a figure everyone felt entitled to condemn, wishing she would be shamed into suicide. Just like me in my past life, a hate page had been created for Holly, with the title, "Has Holly Croft Died Today?" The page was filled not only with vicious curses, but also with photoshopped black and white portraits and gory images. I would never forget the bone-chilling feeling I had in my past life when I clicked on the page titled, "Has Aurora Sterling Died Today?" I'm sure Holly felt the same, but what had we done wrong? We had just been unwittingly caught in a trap set by others. Chapter 8, The Alliance. You said yesterday that Holly's cyberbullying incident was related to Gideon. After the small talk, Julian got down to business. His gentle demeanor vanished, replaced by a sharp, scrutinizing gaze. But from what I know, you're Gideon's secret girlfriend and his assistant. Could I also assume that you participated in framing my sister, Holly, or at the very least were an accomplice? The distance between us hadn't changed, but I could feel the pressure from Julian enveloping me. The hairs on my arms stood on end, but my face remained calm and composed. I looked directly into Julian's dark eyes. "Mr. Croft, you certainly have your ways. To find out about my relationship with Gideon in just one day. But since you were able to find out I'm Gideon's secret girlfriend, you must have also found out about his relationship with Cassandra Dane, the heiress of the Dane Corporation. It's no secret that Cassandra has never liked Holly. Ever since they entered the entertainment industry, Cassandra and Holly were often compared as they were in the same generation of rising stars. However, Holly outshone Cassandra in family background, looks, and acting skills. Cassandra, who had been spoiled by the Dane Corporation her whole life and always got what she wanted, was capable of anything, so how could she swallow that pill? Julian's fingers tapped lightly on the table. "So, you have proof that this was the work of Cassandra and Gideon, or is this just your speculation?" I gave a self-deprecating laugh. "It's laughable, really. I only connected the dots to your sister's situation after I recently overheard them planning to use similar tactics against me. I can't produce concrete evidence right now, but I've already figured out a way to clear Holly's name." Julian's tapping stopped abruptly. He raised an eyebrow. "Go on." I had heard bits and pieces about Holly's case in my past life. Julian had tried everything to clear her name from issuing lawyers' letters and making donations to impoverished regions to appearing on charity reality shows, but her reputation remained tarnished. I only guessed the truth when I overheard Gideon and Cassandra talking about Holly. But by that time, Holly had already withdrawn from Love Paradise, unable to bear the cyberbullying, and I died in a fall not long after. Pushing those thoughts aside, I looked Julian in the eye and said firmly, "A straightforward approach to clearing her name won't work. Netizens won't believe it. Netizens only believe in the truths they uncover themselves. What if we..." As I explained the rest of my plan, Julian's expression shifted, and he listened intently to my strategy. And so, our alliance was officially formed. Soon, it was time for the afternoon's Haunted House Escape challenge. Julian and I naturally teamed up again. Before entering the haunted house, we happened to see Holly on her phone, ignoring her assistant's attempts to stop her from scrolling. A shadow fell over her pale face, and a tear seemed to glisten on her lowered lashes. When she saw Julian and me together, Holly quickly put on a smile and teased him. "Bro, I'm so glad to finally see you interested in a woman. I can finally rest easy." Julian had clearly seen her earlier expression. He seemed to want to say something comforting, but all that came out was a flat, "Worry about yourself instead of me. Take care." Holly wrinkled her nose in mock disgust, then slipped her arm through mine. "Aurora, please don't be scared off by my brother's grumpy face. He's actually really smart, considerate, and a good person. Please get to know him better, okay?" With that, Holly looked at me with her big, round eyes, full of expectation, like an innocent little bunny. I couldn't bear to disappoint such a sweet girl, so I found myself saying, "Okay, I'll definitely spend more time with your brother." The words were out before I realized we were live, and the implication was undeniably intimate. Julian just glanced at us and gave a noncommittal nod. As expected, the live chat went into chaos. "I knew it, the high IQ couple is real. Did you hear that? She said she'll spend more time with Julian. My ship is coming true. Sob, sob, sob. LOL, Julian looks calm, but I bet he's secretly thrilled." But on another note, Julian is Holly's brother. Holly was exposed for abusing her staff. Can her brother be any better? Yeah, is someone like that good enough for our Aurora? Chapter 9. A trip to the haunted house. Seeing Holly's face fall as she glanced at the live chat, my heart ached for her. "Don't worry, sweetie. It won't be long before you won't have to endure this anymore. The wicked will get what they deserve, from me and from fate." I glanced at Cassandra, who was giggling at something Gideon said, and a small smile played on my lips. "Cassandra, Gideon, you two better stay this happy for what's to come." The escape challenge began. Julian and I, Holly and Leo, Gideon and Cassandra, and a model couple were each sent into different haunted houses. Designed to get reactions from the contestants, the haunted houses were genuinely scary, complete with live actors, dim lighting, and secret passages. Screams from the other houses were constant, with Cassandra's "help me don't pull me" being particularly shrill. Julian and I exchanged an amused look, then quickly turned away, trying to suppress our smiles. In a moment of distraction, a clown NPC with a chainsaw cornered us. He. "You're in my territory now, so you have to follow my rules." The clown brandished the chainsaw at us with a piercing laugh. "You, carry her and do 20 squats. Only then can you pass. Otherwise, you're eliminated." I saw Julian frown and thought he was against this kind of activity, so I stepped forward. "Why should we be eliminated just because you say so?" Before I could finish, Julian grabbed my wrist. "If you don't mind, may I carry you?" He pulled me back to his side, and the faint scent of mint enveloped me. I nodded, stunned, and was immediately lifted into a pair of strong arms, feeling as if I were floating in an ocean of mint. To make it easier for Julian, I wrapped my arms around his neck. Only then did I notice how hot his neck was. "Mr. Croft, do you have a fever?" I asked in a low voice. Julian shook his head, his face impassive, and quickly completed the 20 squats before setting me down gently. Maybe it was a trick of the dim lighting, but I could have sworn Julian's face was red. Who would have thought this dominant CEO had a shy side? The rest of the escape was smooth sailing. Whether it was cracking codes or solving riddles, Julian and I competed to see who could do it faster, and we were, without a doubt, the first to get out. After listening to more screams, the other contestants gradually emerged. Leo came out second, protecting Holly. Although her face was pale, she had a happy smile and waved at me excitedly. "You guys are first again, you're amazing." Leo also gave me a smiling look. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something odd about the way he looked at me, but I was sure I had never met him before. I racked my brain, but concluded it was probably just the haunted house making everyone's expressions strange. Next, the supermodel couple emerged. The last to come out were Gideon and Cassandra, neither of whom looked very happy. Gideon was fussing over Cassandra, who was fiddling with her hair and putting on a teary-eyed, pitiful act for the camera and for Gideon. Holly leaned in and whispered to me, trying to hold back her laughter. My assistant told me that one of the actors in the haunted house pulled off her hair extensions. It was all caught on the live stream, and she had a huge crying fit in there. I feigned surprise and exchanged a look with Julian before continuing to whisper with Holly. Chapter 10. Infamous. Before dinner even started, a rumor was circulating among the production team and contestants. Cassandra wanted to quit the show. This time, the rumor was highly credible because, during the recent on-air incident, Cassandra's carefully crafted sweet and gentle persona had been completely shattered by herself. All evening, the live chat was buzzing about the on-air incident. Topics related to Cassandra were all over the trending charts. Unfortunately for her, they were all negative. Clicking on the trending topics, I saw a clip edited by a helpful netizen that laid out the whole on-air incident. Inside the haunted house, a live actor, for dramatic effect, had gently tugged at Cassandra's hair. Cassandra's reaction was certainly dramatic. She screamed, shot across the room like a sprinter, and then clung to Gideon's sleeve, her eyes filled with tears, trembling. But the most theatrical moment came after Cassandra fled the frame, leaving a close-up of the bewildered actor holding a thick clump of hair extensions. Cowering in the corner, the top of Cassandra's head was noticeably flatter, making her look both pitiful and ridiculous. "Ah, why did you pull my hair?" Realizing her head felt lighter, Cassandra furiously demanded her hairpiece back from the actor. At that point, the live chat was still friendly, with most people finding the scene absurdly funny. Many netizens even became fans of Cassandra because of her comically unfortunate moment. After reattaching her hairpiece, Cassandra reverted to her cute and lovely persona, hiding behind Gideon as they made their way out of the haunted house. But the turning point came after they exited. Once they were in a brightly lit area where the fixed cameras were gone, the screen switched to the first-person perspective from the contestants' body cams. Cassandra, clearly thinking the live segment was over, immediately threw all her props at her assistant and started ranting to Gideon. What was wrong with that actor in there? Did she just rip off my custom hair extensions? I swear she doesn't want a career in this industry anymore. Seeing her assistant hesitating beside her, Cassandra directed her anger at her, slapping her hard across the face. The sharp smack echoed. The young assistant, her eyes red, covered her face and stood there stunned as Cassandra yelled, "Instead of fixing my hair or getting that actor fired, what are you just standing there for? I'd be better off hiring a dog. Cassie." The assistant whimpered, tugging at Cassandra's clothes, trying to warn her about something. But Cassandra, still furious, shoved her to the ground. "What, Cassie? Go find that actor and make her kneel and apologize to me." At that moment, the Cassandra on screen was a completely different person from the cute and sweet girl from before. She stood with one hand on her hip, her expression venomous, spewing profanities at the assistant on the floor. The live audience, having witnessed the whole thing, had already exploded in the live chat and on social media, nearly crashing the servers. Finally, Gideon, who had been looking down at his phone, noticed something was wrong. He glanced at the chaotic live chat, then took off his body cam and stepped out of the frame before telling Cassandra. "Cassie, I think we're still live." Cassandra looked as if she had been struck by lightning. She looked at the live chat, then frantically tried to rip off her own recording equipment, screaming uncontrollably. "You damn crew members, why didn't you tell me we were still live? I'm going to have you all fired." A staff member approached cautiously, wiping sweat from his brow. "Miss Dane, we clearly announced the change in filming format at this morning's meeting." "Nonsense, I was never." "You were busy taking selfies at the time," the young assistant, still on the floor and holding her swollen cheek, said in a small but firm voice, looking directly at Cassandra. Chapter 11. Fans turn against her. OMG, this Cassandra girl pretends to be so sweet and gentle, but she's actually such a spoiled brat. Behind the scenes bullying staff is the worst. She even wanted someone to kneel and apologize to her. Who does she think she is? The Cassandra Dane Global Fan Club is hereby disbanded. We are now anti-fans. Does being rich and famous give you the right to bully people like that? The staff and her assistant should call the police and sue. Watching the netizens' edits and sharp commentary on the incident, I struggled to keep a straight face. I had expected today's drama to be good, but I never imagined it would be this good. Cassandra, oh Cassandra, you really didn't disappoint me. A person's true character is often revealed in unguarded moments. And Cassandra's true self not only sparked public outrage and a nationwide debate, but also pushed the show's popularity to the level of a national program. That same evening, both national and international news outlets reported on the disgraceful broadcast and unethical behavior of a certain Miss Dane on Love Paradise. Cassandra's reputation in the industry was utterly destroyed. 8 brands publicly announced on social media that they were terminating their contracts with her. But the netizens were not satisfied. They dug up every detail of Cassandra's past, and what they found was shocking. Cassandra's past was riddled with misdeeds. One revelation led to another. Within half a day, former classmates from her middle and high school organized a Cassandra Dane School Bullying Victims Alliance. People who had been bullied by her came forward one by one to recount the abuse they suffered during their school days. According to the victims, even as a student, Cassandra would lead her cronies to slap classmates or force them to kneel for reasons as petty as someone being prettier than her or not following her orders. One girl, who suffered severe physical and psychological trauma and is still afraid to go out alone, revealed that Cassandra and her friends had burned scars all over her body with cigarettes. To this day, she is unable to make friends or have a normal romantic relationship. The reason for this horrific act? A boy had jokingly said that she was prettier than Cassandra. Looking at the photos of the girl's scars, I gasped. I thought about my past life, how I was framed by Gideon and Cassandra and died in an instant. In a way, I felt lucky. I was reborn to seek revenge for myself, but how would these victims ever heal their scars? How would they get the justice they deserved? The thought left me breathless. I opened my chat with Julian and typed 4 words, "Speed things up," and hit send. Unlike his usual concise, unquestioning style, he replied, "What's wrong?" I took a deep breath and typed furiously, "Cassandra deserves to die for hurting so many people." The typing indicator remained for a long time before his reply came. "Okay, don't worry. I'll make her life a living hell." Although I knew his response was primarily to avenge his sister, I still felt a sense of reassurance. Sure enough, in less than half an hour, the hashtag Cassandra Dane Industry Bully surpassed Cassandra Dane School Bully to become the #1 trending topic. This time, the ones speaking out were not just victims from the entertainment industry, but also the assistant who had been slapped to the ground during the live broadcast. According to their revelations, Cassandra had brought her bullying tactics with her into the entertainment world. She would threaten her staff with their salaries and their families' well-being, physically and verbally abusing them, frequently forcing them to kneel or slap themselves. As for those in the industry she was jealous of or disliked, Cassandra had a well-established smear campaign strategy. First, the Dane Corporation would cast her target in a short film that required closed-set shooting. Then, during the few days of isolated filming, an AI-generated video of the star hitting a commoner, smoking, clubbing, or in a relationship would be leaked by a netizen. By the time the star finished filming and came out of isolation, the video, combined with a mix of true and false rumors planted by Cassandra's hired hands, would have already spiraled out of control. Chapter 12. Imprisoned according to insiders and netizens, over a dozen stars, mostly young, up-and-coming actresses in the same field as her, had been targeted by Cassandra's smear campaigns and suffered serious consequences. The case of Holly Croft was the most representative because the looking down on the lower class narrative that Cassandra had framed her with directly poked at the sensitive issue of class conflict, causing netizens to be easily swayed into a frenzy of cyberbullying against Holly. Now, based on netizens' analysis of the timeline, the hate page, "Has Holly Croft died today?" was created by Cassandra's team even before the doctored video was released. The shocking black and white funeral portraits and vile language on the page gave netizens an even lower opinion of Cassandra. Poor Holly, so this was the truth? I'm so angry, these tactics are so despicable. Holly has such an innocent and cheerful personality, and she was driven to depression by this witch Cassandra, get out of the entertainment industry, and go to prison. I'm ashamed to have ever liked someone like her seriously. Everyone, Cassandra's actions are definitely criminal. The netizens' judgment was spot on, and Julian's actions were swift. On the evening the scandal broke, before Cassandra could even pack her things and flee the show, She was taken away by police cars with sirens wailing, all under the glare of the live broadcast cameras. According to Julian, given the severity of her crimes and the strength of Holly's legal team, Cassandra would spend at least 7 years in prison. The Dane Corporation, implicated in fraud, defamation of celebrities, and threatening school bullying victims, would also face legal action. Its stock price plummeted by 40% overnight. Watching the once powerful Cassandra become a prisoner overnight, I felt only a sense of calm and amusement. Gideon, who had been trying to cozy up to Cassandra to climb the ladder of the Dane Corporation, had been acting like a coward for the past few days, staying silent as if he had never been in a couple with Cassandra, as if they had never slept in the same bed. Cassandra, you see, this is the kind of man you were willing to destroy my life to have. I'm sure Gideon is now wishing that the public's attention would stay away from him, wishing he had never even met Cassandra. Don't worry, Gideon. The show I've designed for you is still to come. These past 2 days, due to the Cassandra incident, the pace of filming has slowed down, giving me a chance to enjoy the benefits of my recent popularity. From the first day I started trending, over a dozen large and small management agencies have sent me contract offers, all of which I have declined. Using my experience as Gideon's former assistant, I acted as my own agent, accepting 3 events and 2 endorsement deals from the numerous offers. I've been flying all over the country these past few days. Since Holly's name was successfully cleared, I haven't seen Julian. I've passed by his room a few times, but it's always been quiet. What a user. He just discards people after he's done with them, without even a word of thanks. Although I was a bit annoyed, I understood that we were just partners in a temporary alliance. I had no right to blame him, so I threw myself into making money. At the filming location for my last endorsement, I unexpectedly saw a familiar figure in a striped shirt, that physique, that CEO aura. Wasn't that Julian? Seeing me arrive, Julian smiled and waved me over. Chapter 13, the endorsement. I walked over to Julian, completely bewildered. Mr. Croft, what are you doing here? Julian handed me an ice cream cone and asked with a slight smile, do you like this endorsement? Of course, I love ice cream. Being able to endorse an ice cream brand is my. A thought struck me, and I blurted out, did you see my social media post? This ice cream brand, it's not one of your family's companies, is it? A few days ago, in a great mood, I had posted, hey ice cream brands, please look at me. Julian must have seen it. Smart, Julian said, taking a bite of his own ice cream. I haven't properly thanked you for helping my sister. Consider this part of my thanks. Watching him elegantly lick his ice cream, I grinned and took a big bite of my cola-flavored one. Well, in that case, I'll graciously accept. Thank you, Mr. Croft. Oh, don't call him Mr. Croft, just call him Julian. A soft body wrapped around me in an excited hug. I turned my head, and sure enough, it was an ecstatic Holly. She held on to me tightly. My brother said it's all thanks to you that I'm free from the cyberbullying. You're basically my savior. You shouldn't be so formal with him. You can even call him Jules. Jules? That sounded like a butler's name. I couldn't help but burst out laughing, and Holly joined in. Julian pretended he was about to bonk Holly on the head, and I quickly shielded her. But instead, his hand changed direction, as if to pat my head. Seeing Julian's usually cold eyes now tinged with affection, I felt my heart was about to leap out of my chest. But his hand never landed. He quickly pulled it back. Julian's voice was still warm as he said, Julian or Big Bro Julian, call me whatever you like. Okay, Julian. Aurora, come get your makeup done. We're about to start filming. Another familiar voice called out. I turned stunned to see the male contestant, Leo Aston, smiling brightly at me. The ad needed a male actor, and Big Bro Leo said he was free, so I brought him along. Holly was still bubbling with excitement, seemingly happy that everyone could get together outside the show. But I was puzzled. Leo was a hot young star. Why would he agree to be a supporting actor for me? As I was getting my makeup done, lost in thought, Leo suddenly spoke up. Senior, do you remember me? Senior. Could he be a junior from Z University? I looked at Leo's handsome, delicate face in surprise, searching my memory for a long time, but I couldn't recall any connection. Seeing my confused expression, the hopeful light in Leo's eyes dimmed. "It's okay, it has been a long time. Do you remember, during your freshman year, you said that opportunities are for those who are prepared?" A pun in Chinese, here adapted to a general saying. It hit me. The refined face before me merged with the pale face of a young man from 5 years ago. When I first entered Z University, as an outstanding graduate, I returned to my high school many times to give talks. And at every talk, a tall, pale young man sat in the front row. Back then, I was cocky and confident, always trying to crack what I thought were funny jokes and puns. He was always the most appreciative one in the audience. "At your last talk, I asked you a question. Should I pursue a career in entertainment or go to a good university?" Leo said with a smile. "You said that I would shine on either path and that I should follow my heart." I scratched my head, embarrassed by my younger self's grand statements, then looked at Leo's handsome face and smiled sincerely. "I was right. You are shining. You've done very well on this path." Leo smiled back at me gently, his eyes holding something I couldn't quite decipher. Chapter 14, Setting the Trap. The shoot went smoothly. I had to admit, Leo's professionalism as an artist was top-notch. He guided me through getting into character and finding my best angles for the camera, and we finished an hour ahead of schedule. "Senior, can I treat you to dinner later?" Leo asked, his eyes sparkling with anticipation. I almost didn't have the heart to refuse him. "Sorry, but I've already booked Miss Sterling's time for this evening. You might have to get in line." The scent of mint wafted over as Julian appeared beside me with the undeniable presence of a dominant CEO. Our eyes met, and I instantly understood Leo and Holly had been pairing up a lot these past few days. Julian was sticking up for his sister. I wasn't one to be tactless. After politely saying goodbye to Leo, I jogged to keep up with Julian and got into his car. "Julian, I have absolutely no intention of stealing your potential brother-in-law, not even a little bit," I declared as soon as I got in, afraid of being seen as an enemy by this CEO. Julian let out a stifled laugh, his stern expression softening. "I know you don't." "Then why did you ask me out?" I asked, confused. After a moment of silence, Julian said, "You mentioned before that you'd need my help setting up a trap at the end of the show. I came to discuss it with you." "Okay, we'll talk about the details later." Remembering the cooler full of ice cream in the trunk, I nodded in understanding. Julian's character was pretty good. Not only did he not discard me after getting what he wanted, but he also got me an ice cream endorsement and was now proactively offering his help. Yeah, this guy was reliable. However, the red light at this intersection was taking forever. I couldn't help but breathe on the car window and use my finger to write the word rich. Julian looked over curiously. "What are you doing?" "Haven't you heard? If you write a wish on a foggy window and it's still there the next time it fogs up, your wish will come true." Seeing that I had written rich, Julian burst out laughing. I rolled my eyes at him. "What are you laughing at? A person has to believe in a little magic sometimes." As soon as I said that, I saw in my peripheral vision that Julian was also writing something on his window with great concentration. I was about to lean over to see what it was when Julian shouted, "Green light," and stepped on the gas, whisking us toward the restaurant. The words he had written quickly disappeared. The next day, Love Paradise, still in the eye of the storm, resumed filming. A new female contestant, Yang Yingying, replaced Cassandra, and the show proceeded in an orderly fashion. I counted the days. We were now at the third to last day of the show. Tomorrow was the day I had fallen to my death in my past life. These past few days, Gideon had continued to shamelessly act as if nothing had happened, trying to get close to me at every opportunity. He was particularly affectionate on camera, clearly determined to be associated with me. Now that Cassandra was gone, latching onto me, the girlfriend with the most popularity was his best bet. I was at my limit, but the time wasn't right yet, so I couldn't act. Thanks to Julian's loyalty, he always managed to whisk me away before Gideon could get too close, saving me from being completely disgusted. Tomorrow was the rock climbing challenge. It was time for me to make my move. Under the cover of darkness, I made my way through the camera-free bushes and knocked on Gideon's door. Chapter 15. Putting myself in danger, Aurora? What are you doing here? Come in, quick, seeing me at the door. Gideon's expression was one of pure delight. I walked in, my face impassive, and threw a stack of photos in front of him. Aurora, what are these? These are intimate photos of you and Cassandra, along with proof that you and Cassandra's team worked together to frame other celebrities. You've been involved with Cassandra for a long time. How did you get these? What do you want? After flipping through the photos, Gideon's eyes were blazing with fury as he glared at me. I'm giving you until tomorrow to admit in front of the live cameras that you cheated and to apologize to me and the celebrities you framed. I put on a heartbroken act, yelling at Gideon in the same way I had in my past life. But inside, I was perfectly calm, almost amused. You have until tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll contact the media and expose everything. With that final cold statement, I stormed out of the room in a heartbroken frenzy and returned the way I came. The night was cold and dark. As I passed through the bushes, the rustling sounds around me were unnerving. I hugged my arms and hurried back, but as I rounded a corner, someone tackled me from behind. Aurora, you forced my hand. Gideon's usually handsome face was now twisted in a savage snarl. He started biting at my neck, his hands tearing at my clothes with a sharp ripping sound. What are you doing? You'll regret this. Let go of me. I kicked and struggled wildly against him among the tangled branches, but he didn't stop. He laughed wickedly, his eyes bloodshot. I just asked Yang Yingying to bring me some clothes in 5 minutes. She has a body cam. As soon as we're in the shot, the whole world will know we're having a secret rendezvous behind everyone's backs. Then, as you wish, I'll make our relationship public. You and we've always been in this together. I was left in nothing but my undergarments, my limbs covered in scratches from the branches. Gideon laughed as he tried to rip off my last piece of clothing, but just as his hand touched my underwear, he convulsed and passed out. Fighting back my disgust, I kicked Gideon aside, clutching a high-powered stun gun. A flashlight beam cut through the darkness. Julian frowned as he looked at the scratches on my wrists and ankles, then threw his jacket over me. Thanks. Did you call the police? I looked at Julian expectantly, then at my own disheveled state. This dirt, these scratches. It's so convincing. Julian was still frowning. He wrapped his jacket tightly around me and pulled me out of the bushes. Hey, why aren't you calling the police? What are you doing? Julian didn't say a word. He rolled up his sleeves and threw a punch at the unconscious Gideon on the ground. Gideon's face instantly swelled up, and a trickle of blood ran from his nose. But one punch was clearly not enough for Julian. He straddled Gideon and started practicing his boxing, landing dozens of punches before stomping hard on Gideon's ribs. Only then did he stand up and dust off his hands. Okay, the police should be here soon. I clearly heard the sound of Gideon's ribs cracking and sucked in a sharp breath. Don't kill him. You're still worried about this scumbag? Julian looked at me furiously. I shrank back. Of course not. I'm worried that if you kill him, you'll end up in jail too. It wouldn't be worth it for a CEO to go down for a piece of trash like him. He's still breathing. I know what I'm doing. Is this what you call a foolproof plan? Julian's voice was still tinged with anger. For some reason, I felt a little guilty. I answered cautiously, yes, I provoked Gideon. Knowing his personality, he would never apologize in public. He would either come after me tonight or tomorrow. Either way, I was prepared. If he had tried something during the rock climbing challenge tomorrow, I had a safety net and hidden cameras ready. If it was tonight, this self-inflicted injury and a stun gun were your preparations. That was too risky. Seeing Julian's stern expression, I mumbled, I had you too. You were my backup. Ouch, my hand really hurts. Chapter 16. Viral again that night, Love Paradise once again topped the trending charts. This time, it was because male contestant Gideon Vance had attempted to sexually assault female contestant Aurora Sterling while drunk. was stunned unconscious by her, and then had 5 ribs broken by male contestant Julian Croft. It was expected that as soon as Gideon was discharged from the hospital, he would be transferred to prison. In an instant, the live chat and comments sections crashed the servers again. What? Another criminal on the show? Sob, sob, sob. How could Giddy do something like this? I don't believe it, don't believe what? This guy was mixed up with Cassandra before, he was never a good person. That pervert can go to hell, poor Aurora. She must have suffered so much TT, thank God my Aurora stayed calm and took down that pervert. I love her even more today. Is the show going to be cancelled? If I can't see my Aurora and Julian, I'll fight every last one of you criminals. Don't cancel it. I want to see the high IQ couple TT. The production team's feelings were extremely mixed. While the popularity of Love Paradise, since its premiere was unprecedented, producing 2 criminals in less than 2 weeks was also a first in the nation's history. But under immense public pressure, the team worked through the night to edit out Cassandra and Gideon's scenes and resiliently pushed forward with the final segments of Love Paradise. It was the night before the finale. The male and female contestants had to invite their dance partners for the final ball via social media, which was essentially a public confession. I tossed and turned in my bed, trying to figure out how to handle the awkward situation of not being invited by anyone. After all, since my rebirth, I had been focused on competitions, revenge, and making money, completely forgetting to develop my own love life. Oh well, nothing to regret. If I didn't have a dance partner tomorrow, I could just hire a guy to go with me. Just as I had made up my mind, my phone started buzzing with notifications like a piano. I opened my messages. The first was from Holly. Check social media, you have to choose my brother. The second was from Julian. You there? Reply to my message. The third was a friend request from Leo. Senior, even if you say no, can you at least add me as a friend? Confused by these 3 messages, I opened my social media app. The notification icons, from comments to mentions, were all at 999. With a trembling hand, I clicked in. 2 bright red mentions were at the top. I clicked on the first one. Leo Aston, why do short people like to swim across rivers? Because they love to swim. Aurora Sterling? A pun in English, love to swim. That's kind of funny. When did this kid start making puns? But why would Leo mention me? I stared at the post, scratching my head, unable to think of a reply, so I decided to leave it for now. I clicked on the second one. Julian Croft. That day, on the foggy car window, I wrote your name. Aurora Sterling? The scene in the car flashed through my mind. If you write a wish on a foggy window, and it's still there the next time it fogs up, your wish will come true. After I said that, Julian had frowned and carefully written something on the window. Thinking back, his face was a little red then. That jerk, so that's why he stepped on the gas and made me carsick so I wouldn't see it, as I grumbled to myself. A huge, goofy grin spread across my face. I quickly typed a reply and sent it. Aurora Sterling commented, read and approved. After a moment of silly smiling, I went back to Leo's post. I thought for a long time before replying. Aurora Sterling commented, seeing as we're so in sync with our puns, let's become sworn brothers. Chapter 17. Good and evil get their due at the Love Paradise finale ball. I made my entrance in a moonlight white strapless gown, drawing stunned looks from everyone. Julian, dressed in a tailored silver suit, had a smile in his deep-set eyes. He watched me intently as I walked toward him. OMG, I can't breathe. This scene is too beautiful. My high IQ couple is finally getting together. TT, that figure, that face. Aurora is just too beautiful. It's a shame she's not in the entertainment industry. No wonder both Leo and Julian are so smit. My poor little Leo, getting publicly rejected. Wait, guys, why did Aurora change direction? Why is she walking toward Leo? What is there, a plot twist? I gave Julian a radiant smile, then turned and walked toward Leo on my right. The joyful expression on Julian's face instantly turned murderous. He stared at Leo and me, his eyes tracking our every move, as if he were about to shoot Leo. Seeing me approach, a blush crept up Leo's handsome face, giving his delicate features a soft glow. "It's okay, Senior, you don't have to comfort me," Leo said with a self-deprecating smile. "Actually, I recognized you from the very beginning. I just didn't dare to talk to you until a few days ago. I was afraid you wouldn't remember me. If I had asked you out at the beginning, would things have been different between us?" Leo's usually dreamy eyes were now sparkling as he stared at me without blinking. I bit my lip, feeling a little sorry for him. "I've always remembered you. After all, you were my most supportive junior. To you, I was probably just a symbol. There wouldn't have been any other possibility between us, because the person who is truly meant for you will naturally always be by your side." I looked behind Leo. He followed my gaze and his eyes met Holly's, who was pretending not to care but was actually peeking in our direction. After making eye contact with Leo, Holly turned and ran out of the ballroom. Leo seemed to have a sudden realization and quickly chased after her. I turned back, satisfied, and met Julian's smiling gaze. "You really enjoy playing matchmaker, don't you?" "Of course, your sister and Leo. They're both good people." Julian's large hand gently rested on my head, and he looked at me tenderly. "Aurora, you are a very, very good person too." I took his hand and smiled brightly. "I know." The music started, and Julian and I danced in the center of the spotlight. When the song ended, he still wouldn't let go, holding my hand and spinning me around again and again. "This is so beautiful. The high IQ couple makes me want to fall in love again. Just saying, if they get married, we better get a seat at the main table. I'll chip in 200. Put it on Holly's tab, I'll chip in 1,000. Put it on Leo's tab, hahaha Leo." Feeling the warmth and well wishes from all around, my nose suddenly started to tingle. Hearing me sniffle, Julian frantically took off his suit jacket to put it around me. Holly and Leo, who had just returned, rushed over with tissues. In my past life, no one cared about me, no one loved me. My world was filled with malice. But this time, people cared about me, people loved me. I was loving this world, and the world was being gentle with me in return. Tears and snot streamed down my face. Julian shielded me from the cameras, holding my hand tightly. Holly wiped my tears and said softly, "It's okay, it's okay. My brother told me you've been through a lot, but you don't have to be afraid anymore. We're here now."